1. Introduction. My name is Brenda. I am 50 years old. I work as a manager in a very big art gallery in the city. I spend my days organizing the paintings and fixing small problems. I wear a simple gray suit every day when I go to work. I try to be professional and quiet. Most people who come into the gallery do not notice me at all. I am just a woman in a gray suit. I feel like I am invisible in my professional life. My world is quiet and gray, like the stone floor of the gallery building. When I leave work, my world changes completely. This big change happens because of Fred. Fred is my husband. He is 25 years old. Fred is full of energy and happiness. He sees bright color everywhere he looks. When he laughs, it is a loud and happy sound that makes me smile. He has very bright, kind eyes. Fred is the most important person in my life, and he is the complete opposite of my gray world. We often walk down the street near our house together. We always hold hands when we walk. This is when the staring begins. When people see us, they stop walking to look at us for a long time. They do not try to hide their thoughts or their surprise. They look at my face, and then they look at Fred's young face. They talk quietly to their friends, but I can hear their words very clearly. One woman whispered loudly, "Look at her age. He is just a boy." Another man said, "She must be very rich to have a husband so young." These comments make me feel very bad. I feel ashamed of my age and my wrinkles. I squeeze Fred's hand very hard because I want to run away from the stares and the whispers. I want to hide. But Fred does not let go of my hand. He never looks at the people who whisper about us. He only looks at me. He smiles a warm, strong smile that makes me feel safe. Fred is like a burst of bright color in my quiet, gray existence. Before Fred, my life was simple, quiet, and very predictable. Now my life is full of bright, wonderful colors and unexpected excitement. He is like the summer sun, and I feel like a long, cool autumn day. The contrast between us is very deep, but the love we share is real. He makes my invisible life visible again. 2. The angry mother. The talk about Brenda and Fred was everywhere. The difference in their ages was a big scandal in the town. People talked about it when they bought food and when they walked in the park. The gossip grew louder every day. This loud talk reached the ears of Fred's family. The worst problems came from Fred's family. They did not like Brenda. They thought she was too old for their son. One Tuesday, Fred's mother came to Brenda and Fred's house. She did not call first. She just walked in. She looked very angry and upset. Fred's mother did not sit down. She stood in the middle of the living room. She looked closely at Brenda's face. She looked at the small lines around Brenda's eyes. Her look was full of hate and clear disgust. "You should feel shame, Brenda," she said. Her voice was sharp and cold. "You are taking Fred's best years. You are an old woman, and he is just a boy who needs freedom." Brenda felt terrible. Her face turned red and hot with embarrassment. She wanted to cry very much and run away to a quiet place. She felt small, like a child. She felt ugly and old, just like the mother said. She wondered if the mother was right. She felt deep shame because of the cruel words. Then Fred moved. He stepped quickly between the two women. He stood in front of Brenda to protect her. His voice was not happy or light. It was low and very serious. "Mother, you must stop talking now," Fred demanded. He looked straight into his mother's eyes, showing his frustration. Fred continued speaking. His position was clear and very firm. "Brenda is my wife," he said clearly. "She is the one person who knows my true self. She understands my soul and my dreams. If you cannot give her respect, you cannot come into this house again. You must respect her, or you must leave immediately." Fred's mother became even angrier when she heard this. She made a sound of frustration and surprise. She turned around quickly and walked out the door without another word. The loud sound of the door closing echoed in the house. The anger left the room, but Fred's strong words stayed in the air. Brenda looked at Fred. She felt safe because he protected her completely. 3. The young girl. A week passed after the argument with Fred's mother. Fred wanted to go out. He planned for us to attend a dinner party. It felt very risky to be there, but Fred insisted. He wanted to show me off to everyone. We arrived at the large house. Many people were talking and drinking. Fred held my hand tightly as we walked inside. He seemed happy, but I felt nervous about the people watching us. We sat at a small table. We were trying to enjoy the food. Suddenly, a young woman came directly to our table. She had long, dark hair and a beautiful face. This was Alice. She was Fred's ex-girlfriend. She is only 24 years old. She wore a very short, bright dress. Alice looked only at me. She smiled, but her eyes were cold. "So, you are the wife?" she asked Fred loudly. Alice looked me up and down slowly. She looked at my simple dress and my face. Then she laughed. It was a loud, sharp sound. Alice spoke to Fred again, making sure everyone could hear her. "She is antique, Fred," Alice said. "She is very old. Don't you miss having fun? Don't you miss being with young girls? Girls with smooth skin?" The noise in the room stopped quickly. Everyone nearby became quiet. I felt all their eyes staring at me. My face burned with shame. I looked down quickly at my plate. I wanted to disappear right then. I felt completely humiliated by her words. Fred did not speak immediately. The silence was heavy and painful. I started to believe that Alice was right. She was young and full of life. I was 50 years old. I looked at Fred's bright face. I thought, I am a mistake for him. I truly believed that marrying me was a very big mistake for Fred. I should have stayed home and stayed invisible. For the car ride. We left the dinner party quickly. I was crying quietly in the car. I sat in the passenger seat and felt very ashamed. The cruel words from Alice were still in my mind. She called me old. She called me an antique. I felt small and useless next to my beautiful young husband. I whispered to Fred. My voice was very small. Alice is right, I said. I am too old for you, Fred. I told him that I had gray hair. I told him that I got tired too easily. I cannot give you the things a young woman can give you, I confessed. I waited for him to agree with me. I waited for him to say that he wanted to leave me. I felt a terrible fear that he would ask for a divorce. Fred did not speak right away. He drove for a few minutes in silence. Then he moved the car to the side of the quiet road. He turned off the engine. He turned on the small yellow light inside the car. The quietness felt heavy. He looked at me with great concentration. He reached across the car and put both of his hands on my face. He held my cheeks gently but firmly. He made me look into his eyes. His eyes were not sad. They had a strong, warm fire in them. He wanted me to understand his truth completely. Brenda, listen to me now, he said. His voice was serious and deep. Alice sees only my outside. She sees my face. She sees my young body. She does not see the real me. He explained that Alice was focused only on the surface. She is shallow, Brenda. He looked deeper into my eyes. But you are different. You look past my face. You see my soul, he continued. You listen to my dreams. You know what I worry about. You know my hopes for the future. These things are more important than smooth skin. He tightened his hands on my face just a little. When I am with you, Brenda, I am not a boy, he said clearly. I am a man. He said that I respected him and that I saw his maturity, not just his age. He explained that my love made him feel grown up and strong. His words were a powerful shock. They were the complete opposite of what I expected. I stopped crying immediately. I realized that his love for me was deep and real. It was not about how old we were. It was about how we connected. We stayed there for a long time, sitting in the quiet car, knowing that the outside world did not matter. 5. The mirror. We arrived home after the emotional car ride. The fight with Alice was over, but the strong feeling of sadness and doubt stayed with me. The emotional tension in the house was very high. We walked inside the quiet house and went straight to the bedroom. I went to the bathroom first. I stood in front of the mirror and looked closely at myself. I saw a woman of 50 years. I saw the deep lines on my forehead and the many wrinkles around my eyes. I hated what I saw. I felt that the insults Alice had shouted were true. I felt very old and very tired. I quickly put on my longest, thickest nightgown. I wanted to cover my body completely. I did not want Fred to see me like this, full of shame. I walked back into the bedroom. Fred was standing there quietly. The room was bright because the lamp on the table was still on. I walked fast toward the light switch. I needed to turn off the light right away. I wanted the room to be dark so I could hide myself from him. I wished I could be invisible again, just like I was before I met Fred. But Fred moved quickly across the room. He stopped my hand just before I could touch the switch. "No," he said softly. His voice was strong, but full of kindness. "Do not turn off the light, Brenda." I looked down at the floor. I felt deep shame about my age and the look of my body. I did not want him to see the marks that showed my 50 years of life. Fred stepped very close to me. He put his fingers under my chin and lifted it gently so I had to look into his eyes. His eyes held a look I had never seen before. It was pure love and deep respect for me. "Why do you want to hide tonight?" he asked. "I want to see you clearly. I want to see every part of you." I started to whisper an excuse, but he stopped me again. "Listen to me carefully, my love. I love every single line on your face. Those lines are your life story. They are your history." He touched the side of my face with his thumb very lightly. "Your history makes you who you are. And now, your history is also part of my history. I do not want a young, smooth version of you. I want the amazing 50-year-old woman who is standing right here with me." Fred held my gaze for a long moment. It felt like he was looking past my appearance and deep into my soul. His eyes showed complete adoration. He saw beauty in the places where I only saw flaws. For the first time since the dinner party, I felt a significant change inside me. I realized Fred truly wanted me to be present. Standing under that bright light, I finally stopped wanting to hide. I began to accept that I was loved. 6, a special night. Fred walked toward me. He looked at me with deep love. It was a look of pure adoration. He did not see my wrinkles or my age. He only saw Brenda, his wife. He came very close. He kissed my forehead first. Then he kissed my cheek. Finally, his lips met mine. The kiss was slow. It was very long. This kiss was different from any kiss before. It was not a quick, happy kiss. It was not like the careless kisses I remembered from my younger years. This moment felt serious. It felt deep. It was a promise that he would always be there. I felt his heart. It beat fast, right against my chest. I could hear it. I could feel the strength of his body near mine. All the shame I felt before started to disappear. The tension from the argument with Alice, the fight with his mother, the sadness in the car, it all left the room. I felt safe in his arms for the first time in a long time. That night was very special. We lay in bed for hours. We did not sleep right away. There was only warmth between us. There was no need to hide anymore. I felt his skin next to my skin. We were completely honest with each other. This was total acceptance. We talked softly. We whispered secrets that we had never told anyone else. We talked about our hopes for the future and our memories of the past. The time went by quickly. We stayed awake and talked until the first light of the morning came through the window. We watched the sun rise together, side by side. In that quiet, dark room, I understood something important. I realized that Fred did not see my body as old. He did not see it as damaged or imperfect. He saw my life history written on my skin, and he loved it. To him, my body was a safe place. It was his home. This knowledge was powerful. This night changed everything about me. It changed how I viewed myself in the mirror. It broke the heavy wall of insecurity that I had built around my heart for many years. Fred did not just love me, he accepted every single part of my history. I finally accepted myself too. After this special night, I felt brave and new. I knew our love was real, strong, and lasting. 7. The red dress. I woke up the next morning feeling very new. The intimate night before had changed my heart completely. I decided it was time to change my look too. For many years, I wore clothes that helped me disappear. My job as manager at the art gallery always meant gray suits and quiet, neutral colors. I always wanted to blend in with the walls and the old paintings. I wanted to be invisible to the world outside my home. But today, invisibility was not my goal. I went to my closet and pulled out a box I had not opened in a long time. Inside the box was a dress. It was a bright, strong red color. I put the dress on. The soft fabric felt powerful against my skin. I looked in the mirror. I did not see an antique woman who was too old. I saw a woman who was loved. I put on bright red lipstick, too. This color was a statement. It was a way of saying, I am here and I am not hiding. I walked into the art gallery. My staff looked very surprised when they saw me. They were used to seeing Brenda the manager, the quiet woman in gray. Today, they saw Brenda the woman wearing the color red. I felt strong all day long. I fixed problems and organized expensive paintings, but this time people looked at me. I did not mind their stares at all. Their opinions did not matter anymore. At lunchtime, Fred arrived to pick me up. He smiled widely when he saw my red dress. He took my hand and we walked outside into the busy city street. Then I saw her. Fred's mother was standing across the street from us. She was watching us closely. Her eyes were cold and full of judgment, just like the day she came to my house. In the past, I would have dropped Fred's hand immediately. I would have looked down at the ground or tried to hide behind Fred's strong body. Today, I did not move at all. I stood very tall. I lifted my chin high in the air. I held Fred's arm tightly and proudly. I looked straight across the street at his mother. I gave her a large, confident smile. It was a real smile, full of my new happiness and certainty. She saw my joy. She saw the bright red dress. She saw that I was not ashamed anymore. After a short moment, she looked away quickly. She was the one who looked down first. In that moment, I understood her true anger. She was not angry because I was 50 years old. She was angry because I was genuinely happy, and she could not take that happiness away from me. I had accepted myself completely. I felt truly free from her bad judgment and all the mean whispers. The red dress was only cloth, but it felt like strong armor. It was the color of my new, bold life. I walked away with Fred, ready for whatever came next. 8. The lesson. 1 year has passed since the attacks, and the loud whispers stopped a long time ago. People still talk about Fred and me sometimes, but their voices are quiet now. They do not stare with anger or shock anymore. Now, when they watch us, they see something important. They see the genuine love between a man and his wife. They see that our unique relationship is strong and very real. The public judgment has slowly changed into quiet acceptance. Fred and I still learn new things from each other every single day. Fred taught me how to be brave. He taught me to be bold and to wear the bright red dress. He showed me that I should never hide my face or my body in the dark. I taught Fred to be patient. He is 25 years old, and sometimes he wants everything immediately. I showed him that the best things in life take time to grow. Our love is a perfect balance of his young energy and my long experience. We help each other grow stronger. I learned the biggest lesson of my life this year. I always believed that being seen meant being young, beautiful, and completely perfect. I thought that my value disappeared with every new line on my face. That belief was completely wrong. The lesson is simple. Being seen is not about age or appearance. It is about the heart. It is about allowing someone to truly see the real you, with all your history, all your fears, and all your small imperfections. Fred never saw my age. He never saw the numbers 50 and 25. He looked at me and saw only Brenda. He looked past the mask I wore, the gray suit, the deep fear, and the intense insecurity. He found my soul, and he loved it immediately and completely. He taught me that the cruel opinions of strangers do not matter. The anger of his mother does not matter. The harsh words of Alice do not matter at all. Only the strong love we share in our house matters. Because Fred saw me completely, I finally learned to see myself. I stopped hating the mirror. I stopped wishing I was 20 years younger. I accepted my face and my body as my own valuable history. I am 50 years old, and I am not invisible anymore. I am Brenda. I am his wife. I am loved. This is my story. It is a story about finding color in a gray world. It is a story about accepting love. Most importantly, it is a story about finally being seen.